what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for Vroom 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 Vroom, whoa, Vroom Vroom, oh no, I'm gonna crash. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. Now, this is my review for Rush, which is directed by Ron Howard, starring Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl. And of course, this is the movie about the rivalry between two race car drivers in the 1970s. And I was very excited to see this, even though when I first saw the trailer, the first trailer, I was like, it looks okay. Then I saw more trailers, then I heard more reviews, and then I was very, very excited to see it. So, what did I think of Ron Howard's return to being a good director? Which, to be honest, I guess it hasn't been that long. The last movie I remember thinking he did a great job with was Frost Nixon, which I think was only a couple years ago. So retract that statement. What did I think of this movie? Well, let's talk about the story. The story for Rush is set in the 1970s and follows two race car drivers. You got James Hunt, played by Chris Hemsworth, and you got Niki Lauda, played by Daniel Bruhl. And these two are, some of the best out there, but they have completely different personalities. James Hunt is the party guy. I mean, when he gets behind the wheel, he is serious. He's serious, but he's also trying to have fun, even though it's a very dangerous sport. Now, Niki Lauda, on the other hand, is completely serious. He's just doing it because he wants to win. He wants to be popular, pretty much. He just wants to win. He wants to be the best, and he knows he can be the best. So those personalities, when they first meet, it just sparks completely, and they have a rivalry straight from the bat. And it pretty much just follows their rivalry, how it builds up into somewhat of a friendship in a way, and their rivalry just pretty much sparks the other one to be better. So this is the reason why they're like two of the best professional race car drivers out there, because their rivalry, they just wanted to be better than each one of them. But it's not just that. It also follows their personal life, who they marry, who they have a relationship with. So it's not just that. It also actually tries to humanize these two characters besides just make them race car drivers that hate one another. So that's really the story there. I absolutely love this story. Not only is it extremely well paced, the characters are really likable, even if James Hunt might be too much of a party guy and kind of a douchebag sometimes. And Niki Lauda could be a little bit more of a party guy because sometimes his seriousness is a little annoying. They feel real, and they are real. This is based on a true story. So if they feel real, and they're just really likable characters because they feel so real, and you get to know so much about them. The chemistry whenever Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl's on the screen, perfect. Just electrifying, pretty much. It's fantastic. It really is. And the story itself is just so entertaining, especially when it gets to the racing sequences. And also, I will say this, it actually gets very suspenseful, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, the story here is amazing in my opinion. Like I said, when Daniel Bruhl and Chris Hemsworth are on the screen, it's electrifying. The chemistry is fantastic, but the acting just alone is amazing, phenomenal in this film. Chris Hemsworth, we've seen him in The Avengers, Cabin in the Woods, Thor. We've seen him in a lot of stuff where, not saying those are bad roles, he's fantastic in those, but he never had a movie that could be an Oscar contender, so he can flex his acting muscles, and here we finally get that, and he is amazing in this role. He is so good. But Daniel Bruhl as Niki Lauda, I looked him up right after I came out of the film, like you would if you saw a true story and you really liked the film, and he looks just like Niki Lauda in this film. They did an amazing job of making all these people in the film look like the actual people, and him especially. And also, he did an amazing job in this too. Phenomenal. He is truly, truly, truly worthy of an Oscar nomination. Probably Best Supporting Actor, maybe even Lead Actor. I'm not really sure how that works, but I'm not sure if he's supposed to be the lead. I'm not sure, but he is fantastic. The rest of the supporting cast is great as well. You got Olivia Wilde, who, you know me, I love Olivia Wilde. I do. She doesn't get naked in this, which, fuck Olivia Wilde. No, I'm just kidding. No, she's still really good in this, but she has a very small role. And everybody else does a great job as well. So overall, I think the acting here is, I keep saying this word, but it's the perfect word. Phenomenal. So, there you go. Dialogue, the story, the acting, all spectacular. There you go. There's a new word for my very limited vocabulary. Spectacular. I don't have very many different words to explain a movie, but I'll start using that one more. So anyway, it is spectacular. It's actually some of the best of this year. Really, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen because I really wanted to see what was going to happen next, especially with the racing scenes. The racing scenes in this film not only are extremely well shot, I mean, I could tell what was going on all the time, which, you know, is surprising considering that, you know, that movie Getaway last year, I thought that completely ruined my taste in racing films or anything with a car because that movie was awful. But no, I really enjoy myself with the racing here. It's very well shot, very well edited, unlike that film. That movie sucked. But if you couldn't tell by my review or the way I said it sucked, that movie sucked. Sucked. Screw you, Selena Gomez. You suck. But anyway, it's very well shot, very well edited. It's also very tense. Like at the end of the film, I didn't know what was going to happen, seeing that this is a very dangerous sport, and they make it very apparent that it's a very dangerous sport after a couple of very, very fatal accidents that happen in the film. And you don't know what's going to happen at the end if you, unless you know the actual true story, which I didn't, so I had no idea. So it was very tense, very well shot. It was very loud too, which I know sounds like a weird positive, but it should be a positive because these are very powerful cars. You should feel like they're very powerful, and this film definitely does not skimp on that. Oh boy, is it loud. Very exciting, very, very just well paced. You just want to see what's going to happen next. And when it's over, to be honest, I was just like, oh man, it's over. That was awesome. I love that film. That was good. And that was probably the best racing film I've ever seen in my life. Rush is definitely worth your time. It definitely is a Rush. Perfect title for the movie. Definitely go check it out. Oscar-worthy performances with a fantastic story and some great racing scenes. Definitely go check it out in theaters now. I gotta give it a 40 out of 40. It's one of my favorite movies of this year, and I most likely will have to see it a couple of times more before the end of the year. So I can definitely tell you if it is my favorite. It might be. I don't know. Rush, fantastic film. Definitely go check it out. Thank you and goodbye.